Happy morning to all and a warm welcome to all OET aspirants who are watching live in the YouTube. So once again, we have a special session today. I know all are watching for this live interaction. Before that, I would like to thank Almighty God and our Father Salim Joseph for arranging and providing us this wonderful resources, arranging us for each and every aspirant. About a father, there is no words to say. He is a center certified trainer from British Council and pursuing many higher degrees. He is a humble Christian priest. As we all know, he started this mission to help all those OET aspirants who are struggling in the studies and financially also. And one more thing I would like to emphasize is our admin panel, our admin and our founder is Shaumya Sham, who's spending hours for us along with the admin panel and all various empowering army members. She's actually voluntarily helped all the members to support this platform. Now, before we begin everything, I would just like to say a few words on our EduSkills platform. So as you know, we are some of them are beginners, some of them are already present from our platform. But still, for the few beginners or for those who don't know about our EduSkills platform, I'd like to say a few words about our platform. Our day always starts with a prayer, and then all the aspirants can interact in this group freely. As we know, this is a non-profit platform. We don't need to pay a single amount of money to for all the resources, for all the trainers, or for all the Zoom session. We don't need to pay any single amount of payment. So each day we'll have a task which will be posted in our Telegram platform in advance or before the task date. And according to that task, at 8:30 p.m., there will be a discussion based on this empowering subgroup members. As we all know, many of our subgroup members are actively participating in our Telegram platform. So all are like energetic and they are very enthusiastic to participate, to taking up the task, explaining each strategy, each question and answer with its strategies and steps, what further has explained, guided us. So that is really an interesting part, which I always like to be in this. And we also have a mentor hour. Mentor hour is nothing but it is related to all the OET concerns, especially the time is between 12 to 1 p.m. every day in our platform. So you, what you have to do is that all the concerns which you have can be posted at that time in our Telegram platform, which will be clarified and explained by our father later in the Zoom session. As we know, our father has a lot of students. He is actually admiring person to all the aspirants and all the students. He had a lot of many students in his account, and he's a humble person. As I told you, he approaches, his mission is that every student personally and to achieve their goal, not only in the studies, he also encourages to, he also encourages to be, be competent, be smart in all aspects. If I'm struggling a lot, if I just say, Father, I cannot study, he just give a few tips which will encourage us and motivate us to go further. So as I say, is that he is really helping us to stand firm in our life. Actually, all these studies are not only studies to mug up or this one, like a personality development, to develop ourselves. This platform helps a lot. And a father is really down to earth to help us. Okay, now coming to the current scenario in our platform is regarding Part C. Reading Part C is going on and discussion at 8:30 it is going on. That is the current scenario happening in our platform. Now, coming to the resources available in our material, all the materials are available in our Telegram platform. As you just scroll to the pinned messages, you can see what are the important notices, what is the task given today, and or else if you are, I know all our professional aspirants are all working. I know all are busy in their life. So you just can go through all the from the Telegram files or from the music files. You can get all the audio clips, you can get the materials and just go through it. So this all highlighted PPTs will also help us when you just scroll from our Telegram platform. And regarding our Zoom sessions, we have a live Zoom sections in our module. Father Salim Joseph, according to his availability, he gives us the live Zoom sessions and all the doubts he will be clarifying to us. And regarding the Zoom session notice will be posted in our Telegram platform prior to the session, and the link also will be posted half an hour before the prayer time. Now, one more thing I want to say is that EduSkills YouTube videos. So you can watch the fathers and student faculty's recorded video sessions on each subtest. Please don't watch it simply. Just spend your quality time. Take note of it. Watch again and again. Consider like and share and subscribe. So this is a humble request that, just don't rush and see all the videos and finish them. Just watch it very slowly. Take your time. That is very important as our father always emphasizes. Now use this father's videos as a guide to start each subject. What is expecting from you? Nothing. This is our own platform. So you can just interact here without any hesitation. See, you have all the resources guided in front of you. What is it? Our contribution is nothing but just an active participation and dedication towards ourselves, and also encouraging others by sharing the links or by sharing the Zoom sessions to others who don't know, who are struggling, who are really pathetic situation. They've tried several times, and you just really this is nothing but after all it's not like anatomy or physiology. It's just simple English, only English for you. The thing is that we all are fearful to come across this exam. So, but as far as father always tell us, is be cool. That is our motto. And smile, encourage, empower each other, as he always says. Now, I'm not going to take a long time just explaining everything, but we have, as I told you, we have a special session, and we have to take up the session, we have Maria Paul here, Miss Maria Paul. On behalf of EduSkills family, Father Salim Joseph, and all the admin panel members, I would like to welcome Miss Maria Paul. As to talk about her, she's an assistant professor from DePaul Institute of Science and Technology, Angamali, Ernakulam. A very special town to me, ma'am, because I also belongs to Angamali. And also regarding her education, she's a research scholar at Lincoln University College from Malaysia in mass communication, and completed MA with honors in arts and media from Gift University, Australia. So thank you, ma'am, and we welcome you. We are very enthusiastically waiting for you to listen about to find out the tips and about the speaking subtest. She's ready here to explain a few things about the speaking subtest and a general lecture about speaking subtest. So I wish all of you to just be keen and try to focus on her words. We welcome you, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Salma. And it's nice to know you are here from the same town as well. And I think I can start right now, right?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
All right, okay. So very good morning to you all. And I think there are people from very different, varied time zones. So a very good day to you all. So before we begin, just would like to give you an overall picture on what we will be going through today. So definitely it's about the speaking subtest. And we are all very anxious about what exactly is speaking subtest. And I will be sharing a few of my observations and a few of my suggestions, and I hope that will be helpful to you. And apart from that, I think I planned my session in a way, not really planned, because there were a few questions that was asked to me from the previous session. So I thought I will answer that questions as well, which might be these are queries that most of you would have, and I think that would be about our session today. And but before we begin, I just would like you to pray for me and pause for a moment of prayer, because definitely the wisdom of God has to guide us so that I deliver what is required for you and you receive what exactly you need. So kindly pray for me too. So let's pause for a moment of prayer so that the wisdom of God guides this entire session. God bless us all. Okay, so to begin with, the very first question we all have is, what is it going to be at this speaking session? We are all always tensed. Okay, very tensed. That we literally forget all that we know. Most of the times it's like that. And from my observation for the past few years as an interlocutor, this is exactly what I have seen. More than 80% of you are literally scared, very scared. I can't just say the word scared, but it's something like, so for some people, maybe a 50% of you, I think I should use the word terror, because I feel like you're actually jailed or something when you come into the speaking subject room to the interlocutor. And I always wonder why you really have to be so scared or so fearful, because you are the people who actually see very fearful scenarios. You are the people who actually take charge of very fearful scenarios. But you have never taken yourself aback, or you have stayed back from the scenarios. You have always handled it, and you have always saved lives. So understand, you are the people who have to be you are very courageous. That's what I want to tell you, because it might be a casualty from a very fatal accident. But the ordinary man will actually stay back. They might be scared to look at the bodies. I mean, the people or the individuals who have been severely injured. I meant it's a fatal accident. But it is you who actually handle that incident. Okay? Which means you are capable. And the only problem is we don't realize we are capable. And when I was thinking of taking this session today, I just was reflecting my own life. I have been among nurses. I think my family has got lots of nurses. My mom is a nurse. My aunts are nurses. I have 6 of my aunties, my dad and mom's siblings, nurses. Okay, so, and I have lots of friends who are nurses. Again, when I was working, I am in the media field, definitely. When I was working for the media, Sophia Books, Shalom Television, and there too, the hostel I stayed in was a nursing hostel. So I was just thinking, reflecting around my life for the past many years. It has been somewhere like I had been with nurses, and I have always listened to many different queries and problems they have been going through, or they have undergone, or various cases they have taken, and I have always looked at them with awe, really literally, oh, how did you do that? I would sometimes ask myself, because that is your capability. And the very first time as an interlocutor, I was in the room waiting for my candidate to come in, or my candidates to come in. And I was dismayed, I should say. I was really sad to see these fearful faces. And even I wasn't very much aware of what exactly this is all, I mean, what exactly is expected, or it's just a casual role play. That's right. I know it's a realistic scenario that is given down there, which we enact. I mean, we speak and we tackle the situation. That's basically it. But the way people were coming in, because we were given instructions like just to relax your candidate and then start the role plays, I mean, the test. As you all know about the test, I'll just give a quick introduction, like a quick revamp or go through. Like the test is 20 minutes, and once you start, you can only stop at the end. There is no in-between pausing. It's not possible, no matter what. And in case if there is any pause or something has happened, we'll definitely have to let the venue manager know about it. Otherwise, it's absolutely a 20-minute session. And there is a verbatim that is given to us. That means a written, like what do you call a verbatim, a written script, exactly, a script. And we cannot go away from that script, except for the role plays, which is your scaring part or your scary area. Okay, so during the verbatim, during the test, verbatim will always be the same. There will be no change. And to make you all very comfortable, Cambridge University Press has also introduced a 2 to 3 minutes warm-up session also. That is where we ask you, why did you decide to be a nurse? There is 6 or 7 questions they have written, and we are supposed to ask you so that we both understand our language, our voice, because it's the first time we are talking to each other. We don't know each other. So to make sure that we both of us know or we become comfortable to our voices, there is 2 to 3 minutes, warm-up session. Okay, that's also the questions are there. And only if we don't finish, if the time is, not yet 2 minutes, we'll have to ask our own questions. Otherwise, it's fine. It's definitely fine. Initially, when I was an initial times when I was working as an interlocutor, it was only said ask 3 questions. Definitely ask 3 questions, 2 or 3. Okay, and that was it. So once I asked 3 questions, I stop. I don't look into how many times, how much was the time taken or nothing. But right now, these days, they have made it compulsory that it has to be 2 minutes, definitely 2 minutes. So now I take a note of the time, what time did I start asking that warm-up questions. But these warm-up questions are never assessed. Okay, so be very comfortable. This is, once the interlocutor, gives you some, as an interlocutor, it depends from interlocutor to the interlocutor. Not everybody might be talking to you. Some may just start the conversation, verbatim, just like that. I know my own friends who just start the verbatim. They just start the test as soon as they come in. They just ask you if you need some water or anything, and then they just start the test because the comments is what I like. They said because if I talk to them again, they might get more scary. So it's better I don't talk. I just start the test. So they're also expecting a test, and I just finish it up. So, but I don't do that. So it depends from interlocutor to interlocutor. Okay, so we were talking about the verbatim, and then after that we get into the role. So all these while there is nothing else other than the verbatim we will be talking to you, except for the role plays. So there isn't much you have to be scared of. You don't really have to be scared of. Okay, and you, if in the initial level, if nobody has asked you anything or you are still very scared, leave it. Leave it during the verbatim. Like we might be asking you, why did you decide to become a nurse? And you might give us some explanations. Most of the time, I get that it's my passion. I saw, maybe some childhood experience with nurses. It was very wonderful, so I wanted to be a nurse. Okay, so all these actually are just a way to vent out your fear. In case after this session, from now on, I don't want anybody to be scared because you are the people who are really empowered. You are the people who take much more risk, and there is no need for you to be fearful if you're scared. Okay, so the thing is, vent it out there during the warm-up session. We might ask you, there are a few questions, like we might ask you, what kind of a person do you think is a good nurse? And you give me the answer most of the times. Almost 90 of you say good communication skills. To understand the patient and to communicate things right is one very important quality a nurse has to have. And that is exactly what we are in for the speaking test. That's all, to communicate. This is a question I ask almost all of my candidates. I ask all my candidates this question: what kind of a person do you think makes a good nurse? And almost 90% of you give me this answer of communication. And that exactly is all what you need for your speaking test. And unfortunately, even though when we speak about communication, we are scared that we lose our communication. And I believe all of you have said this, definitely have good communication skills. Because as a nurse, you definitely need it, and you will definitely utilize it. So the very first thing I want you to understand to overcome this scenario, I think is understand you are in a casualty. You are in the emergency room, or you're taking over an emergency situation. Okay, you have done that, definitely. Every nurse definitely has taken an emergency. So take an emergency scenario, bring an emergency scenario, and be there. You were not scared at that point of time. If you were too scared, and maybe you had a fear or something, but still, I don't think you did have some time to sit back or stay back and think about, oh, am I scared? What should no? You never had any time to take up the emergency situation. You quickly dealt with it. It might be a CPR, it might be an IV, or whatever it might be. You have handled the session. So just understand this is another emergency situation you're handling. So you don't have to be fearful, but you have to be bold. You have to understand the scenario. Because we are scared, we leave half or many areas of the task that is given to us. And this is only a 5-minute emergency. Just a 5-minute emergency. Okay, and we have to be very natural about it. We have to be very natural. Okay, when talking about naturality, I'll tell you. And as I continue, I think there were a few questions that, actually I got 4 questions after the previous session, okay? And understand 3 of the questions were very similar about a reluctant candidate, a reluctant patient. Okay, it's an emergency situation. The patient is very reluctant. If the situations they have asked us, it is difficult to maintain a conversation with a reluctant patient. So how can we ask these questions? That is one scenario. How will we continue the conversation with the reluctant patient? Again, the reluctant patient is continuously asking the same question. So how will I direct the patient? So we'll start with this, one of the situations. Okay, we are talking about an emergency situation, a very reluctant patient. Okay, so in our lives, even when we were in reality working, we had these reluctant patients, definitely. And we have handled them. Okay, another thing is, each scenario, each case, each role play depends on how we will have to handle it. But in general, there is a few things that we can look into when handling this reluctant patients. Because before that, let me assure one thing, that is there is a verbatim I told you, there is a role play I told you. There is an instruction given to you on the role play card. Similarly, we are also given an instruction. Okay. So don't think there will be something that will be against what you will be saying, or it will be like mutually gelling. These instructions will gel together actually. If you think, if you are given an instruction, take consent from the from the patient to take the vitals, okay? And I, being the patient or the interlocutor, I'm very reluctant. I don't want to take the vitals. I will keep on arguing because the instruction given to me is eventually agree. There are such scenarios that come, which means the patient is reluctant. I'm not ready for it. So all you can do is, this is a stubborn patient who is not very much explain, okay, is to take the vitals. Okay, we'll just take a scenario just like that. It's to take the vitals. Okay, so the candidate has asked, it tells me might be I am finding some difficulty, some headaches or something maybe. Okay, so you just want to check my vitals and also send my what do you call, my blood for diagnosis, and I am not ready for it. So you're trying to convince. Okay, so the first time you, as normal, okay, I don't know about it, I have to take my vitals, I know the very first time you would say, ma'am, this is your, maybe I'm 70 years old, okay, this is the age wherein maybe or I'm sorry, okay, maybe there might be no, don't take it that way, maybe it's like it's been some time since we have taken checked your blood pressure or your sugar level or diabetic level. So I think it's always good to have a blood check and check your pressure. I don't know much medical terms, okay, but I'm just talking from what I know. Just give an explanation. You know it better than me. So we will check all that and see what is the reason, and that is the first step before meeting the doctor, maybe. Okay, and I, being adamant, okay, as a very reluctant patient, I said no, I want to meet the doctor. You can again go on, ma'am, it's because the prior appointment is actually required to meet the doctor, and also the doctor will require all the results of these tests, and that is how he will be able to diagnose what exactly is the problem. Sorry, I'm not ready for it. Okay, I just want to meet the doctor. I think I'm very all right with my pressure. I haven't felt anything bad. I just have a headache. That's all, nothing else. And I get it every day evening, sometimes in the mornings. I'm being very reluctant again. Again, you don't know what else to say, right? Just reassure the patient. Keep on reassuring. Understand this is only a 5-minute scenario. This is a scenario of the reality, maybe. Okay, but there is clear instructions given. So you can go on. Ma'am, I perfectly understand. You have headache, but sometimes headaches might be because of the pressure variations that have happened. From my experiences for the past few years, I understand that can also be a cause. Pressure variation can also be a cause for headaches. You will have to bring it out from your real life events, maybe. And just try to assure, you know what? The speaking subtest examiner is actually looking into how well you can communicate with the patient. Okay, it's not about you completely convincing, because there is instruction given there. You're trying to smoothen the reluctant patient. You're trying, this is very adamant patient, it's true, very reluctant, but somewhere you will have to keep speaking. Okay, listen and then speak. What is coming up? I just created the scenario just like that. Okay, but when I get a role play, sometimes when I speak, I sometimes when you speak, I get an idea. Oh, if only this candidate would have spoke like this. Sometimes I think. Sometimes like people getting stuck, I think only if she had told something else. Okay, so but eventually, definitely the interlocutor will have to give you consent, because instructions will be like that. Okay, because if you are supposed to get a consent, you will definitely get it. But we might be given some other instructions down there before that. That is eventually agree. So we can't just say the moment you say, I can't just tell you no. Yes, just like that, because I have to be reluctant. Okay, now sometimes you might just get stuck with this patient. What will I speak? You have already tried all your best. You have given few ways of explaining things, one or the other way. Put it in and around in way. How you handle a very elderly people. You know it better than me. You know how you handle kids. Just try something. You know how to handle these people much better. You have done it actually. So that is one scenario. And also, what if you are getting stuck? That was one question. What if you get stuck? So it's actually said natural silence. I mean, you get stuck all of a sudden and then you can't speak. That's understood. It's for a few seconds. It's natural. See, I just paused right now. That's natural. That's fine. That's definitely fine. Okay, that's also understandable. When you listen to the audio, you know why this person just stopped. Maybe you're thinking for a minute. That's fine. Definitely fine. As far as the instructions given, that is fine. But if it's for a very longer period, you know what it is being naturally silent for some time and unnaturally because you're totally stuck. And I don't want you to. Sometimes you're very scared we get stuck. And then we don't speak. Then I'll have to speak up. I'll have to show my hands, right? Sometimes I come up with some questions which looks very odd because it is actually the examiner who is listening to this conversation. Okay, so being stuck for a natural time frame is fine. You might get stuck for a few seconds, maybe 5 or 7 or 10 seconds. It's a longer time, actually. That is fine. You're stuck. But suddenly bring out another strategy to get this customer convincing. Listen to the customer always. Because sometimes when my candidates come in, I might ask them something, especially for such scenarios, because if I am supposed to be not agreeing to the consent asked, I have to be reluctant. I might just sometimes ask, are you really sure that I will be cured if I take this, if I do this test? Sometimes I ask like, okay, I don't know, it's not exactly, but I don't remember. There was a scenario like that, I don't remember what, but the candidate was totally away from what I was speaking as a patient. The candidate was trying to, finish up all the tasks in the card, in the role play card, and she said something else. And I was literally like, oh my God, I asked something, she said something. The only thing is listen. They're looking at how well are you communicating with your patient. Okay, so with that, let me come to a few thoughts that came to, that I got from being an interlocutor. So we were talking about a 5 minutes emergency. 5 minutes emergency, okay? A casualty. That is a role play. Okay, and this is a mutually understandable or mutually gelling cards that is given between the patient, that is the interlocutor, and the candidate. Okay, so you don't have, you just do your task. If you do your task perfectly, then there is nothing to worry about. Things are all fine. Okay, so this 5 minutes of emergency means you actually, usual emergency, you don't think anything, you don't have the time to think anything, you don't have the time to discuss anything, but you just do it. But here for our speaking subtest, we have 3 minutes time to prepare for this 5 minutes emergency. Wonderful, right? What else can we get to prepare for an emergency? Because in reality, it is 0 seconds, just 0, very much. Okay, nothing, absolutely nothing in reality. But for this test, it is 3 minutes. And in reality, understand you are taking very, very complicated cases, emergency, very complicated emergency cases with 0 minutes time or seconds time, with absolutely no time to think at all. You take the emergency. You have saved the lives. Okay? And here, you have an emergency that is not very complicated. Definitely, it would not be complicated, okay? It's not very complicated. You have an emergency. And the real life emergencies, the complicated emergencies, would last for hours, days, weeks, without identifying what the problem is. Okay? But for your 5 minutes emergency, you're clearly given all the problems, all what you have to do, exactly, very clearly given down there. Which means you can definitely do it, and only you can do it. Okay, the only thing is you just be a nurse, a natural nurse, like you be in the hospital, rather than coming in for a test. You are in for a test, definitely, but be in your duty rooms, wherever you are. Take the patient, you be in the hospital or whatever scenario is given in your role play card. Be there as a nurse. That's the best thing I think that would benefit you, as far as I understand. Because I be a patient. When I sit as an interlocutor, as soon as I start the role plays, I be a patient. Definitely. During the role plays, I'm just a patient. Whatever is asked me or whatever is the scenario, I just be there as that particular patient. Okay, so you be the nurse. And so that is a 3 minutes preparation time. That is more than enough for a 5 minutes emergency. See, this 5 minutes emergency, when you look into the role play, you have the task written down there, which will be like give information, take consent, what do you call, examine, give instructions. There will be few things that will be actually written on the role play card. So make sure you complete all that. You do all that. You make sure that you do all those tasks. It will finish, definitely it will finish in 5 minutes time. Okay, so for the 3 minutes, plan out. First, identify what are the tasks that I have to do. That doesn't take much time. And I just want you to be very careful when you read. Because for my other session also, this was my recent observation. For the other session also, I said, there was this role play card that was given wherein the nurse has already examined the patient. The nurse has already examined the patient. That is where you start. And I am told you are already being examined by the nurse. Okay. And for us, when asked, that is the very first task we get. When asked, so you will definitely ask us, right? You are supposed to start the session, start the role play, and you will be asking me something, and I will have to answer this. That's the very first instruction that will be given to us. So I'm actually waiting for something like, okay, you have already examined me. You're going to give me some information. You know, to my greatest dismay, I was literally very upset when the candidate asked me. She asked me my name. Okay, during the preparation time, she asked me my name. Okay? She asked me, "Am I talking to Maria?" Like the name. Okay. I said yes. Is it the right time to talk to you? I said yes. Literally, I was dead for a moment. Because that is not where we are supposed to start the communication. Anyway, helpless. I just went with the flow. The rest of the scenario was excellent. Well done. Unfortunately, the beginning failed. I don't know. We never get to know about your marks or results or nothing. Okay, so don't worry about the interlocutor. Are they going to examine me? What are they going to think about me? Nothing. We're just only there to help you out. We will never know your grades as well. So don't worry about it at all. Okay, so just be bold, courageous, and do your session. That's all, nothing else. Okay, so read your role play card very carefully. Make sure where you have to start. Okay, it is not that you have a good vocabulary, you know, very good language, but it's basically how well you communicate. Just enough for ordinary. You're dealing with ordinary people. So you just need ordinary language. A good language is definitely a must. That's all what is being looked into. That means if only you have a good language, you can communicate well. So with the language, whatever you all, as far as most of you have a very good language with you, because working abroad, you have good experiences. Working abroad, working with other language people, most of you know English actually. Just communicate. Use the language to communicate. You don't need to know technical terms to communicate to your patient. I believe you know much more than me with regards to medical terms. I don't know many of the words. Sometimes, I see some candidates literally baffling, like they don't know what exactly some things mean. But then you can ask during the 3 minutes preparation, what does it mean? We can explain it to you in few words, actually, not much, but still in case. But once they understand what is it, is just a technical term. Don't worry about it, because they are not going to look into how professionally you know nothing. Like the always beautifully bright in my memory is one of the scenarios where this candidate actually told me, like, having soft food and solid food after the operation. She explained you can have some juice, food. I was a reluctant patient, actually.
Ma'am, we are unable to hear you. Just unmute your mic, ma'am.
I couldn't hear you, dear. Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Am I?
Yes, now you're audible, ma'am.
Okay, sorry.
Just for a second, you were just.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yes, I didn't understand. All right. Okay, so I'll continue.
Yes.
So where did I get lost? Is it from that soft food, solid food?
Exactly, ma'am. From soft food to solid food, how candidate came and explaining.
Yes, sure. So I was a reluctant patient, and she slowly explained, have some juice, then have slowly move on to fruits, some porridge, and then slowly you can have your normal diet. Okay, and to my curiosity, after she's left, I just looked into her card, because we have both the cards. I looked into the candidate card, and I only saw there was written like soft food to solid food. It was just the candidate who, from her real, nursing experiences and from her knowledge level, this is very simple things as far as I understand, explained in such a beautiful way. There's so many things, okay, but this strikes me so much, because I was literally very sad, because the same role play was given to a few other candidates also, but this person explained this so well. So that's what she was very confident, as far as I remember. She went with the test well. I don't remember who and all, but then this was just in my memory. Okay, so what I want to tell you is, go through your card. You know these daily things, what happens, you have been through this, and try to explain it in your ways. But some fatal errors, okay, like hold your breath for 30 minutes or 3 minutes, that is very unrealistic. Don't bring all those things. Just bring realistic scenarios, like hold your breath for 3 seconds maybe, or 30 seconds might be the instruction that is given to you. This was actually an incident that happened to one of my colleagues. The candidate in her, peer literally said to hold the breath for 3 minutes, I suppose, or more than that. And the interlocutor was literally shocked, but we can't say anything. And after the test, she asked, why did you say like that? And the candidate asked, did I say like that? That was the amount of care the person had, the candidate had actually. So understand, there is a 5-minute scenario, emergency, a 3 minutes preparation time, and there is 2 role plays, 2 and 3 and 5. 2 role plays, 3 minutes preparation, 5 minutes emergency. Okay, so all you need to do is be yourself completely into the scenario. And there is one very important thing I want to tell you. you deal with strangers. You definitely deal with strangers. And these strangers, you have never seen them before. That's why they are strangers. You don't know you will ever see them again. But you have dealt with them very patiently, very, very patient. You understand whether they are very rude or reluctant, arrogant, what kind of a person that person is. You understand very well, very fast. So interlocutors are also just people. Some might be very friendly, some might not be. But definitely they are there to help you out. So don't worry, okay? Just understand what kind of an interlocutor you have got and just carry on. You don't have to be fearful at all. There is nothing else that they can do. This is a test which is recorded, recordical. There is instructions. Nothing will be out of it. It will be exactly going by the instructions. So just be confident. That's the one major thing I want to tell you about. Okay, like you be in an emergency. Like I tell some of my candidates, if you think you're really scared, wear your uniform, stand in that place where you had the fatal emergency, or one of those places where you are comfortable to work. That's it. That's all. So I hope I have given you an overall idea about the speaking subtest. Yeah, and there was one more question. Like I told you, of the 4 questions, 3 of them was about a reluctant patient, and there's this one question that was about suddenly stuck in the session. That was also answered. Like suddenly stuck in the session is also fine, because sometimes you get stuck in a session naturally. That is fine. All right, yes, and definitely once again I tell you, it's a 5-minute emergency, and 3 minutes you've got to prepare. Definitely for a normal emergency you have no time. Just God guides you, his wisdom guides you through to act spontaneously to the emergency. And here you have 3 minutes and just 2 role plays and a 5 minutes emergency. Just be natural. You know it. You absolutely know much more than we interlocutors, because this is your field. This is the medical field, and definitely God will guide. God bless you all.
Thank you, ma'am, for explaining in a very detailed way. Actually, as we started hearing from your side, it's really helpful to us, because no need to fear in front of an interlocutor. Actually, you have said beautiful things, beautiful tips you have explained. Thank you so much, ma'am. One more thing is that it is a live YouTube live is going on, so many aspirants are asking a lot of doubts in their comment spaces. Yes. So I would like to light some of the doubts which they are asking.
Definitely, that's fine.
Yeah. The first is that Greeny Mary have asked, ma'am, I have heard that many interlocutors are asking about sharing the situation that you handle during the duty days. So how could a nurse without experience speak about it? I think asking about the warm-up questions.
Session. Yeah, there is a question. Can you tell me a typical day of your work? That is what is one of the questions for the warm-up. A typical day of your job. That can be one of the questions. So I have seen freshers also answering. All you need to do is, even being a fresher, you have been on duty, right? You have been for your practicals, and you exactly work as a nurse. Just take that scenario. You start. Most of them say like you start your day with a prayer. Then I check my inventory. Then I take doctor orders. I check my patients. That's what. More than me, you know what exactly you do during the job. That's exactly what. And then finally, I hand over. I give handover and end my session. That's all. That's for a fresher. You can just take one of those days that you have been at work, practical session.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. And one more question from Monica. She's asking, addressing a patient during the role play card. like first name or like Miss Charles or Charles, or it's just called only Charles. Like regarding that, does they score less by addressing the names and all?
No, nothing of that sort. You can, you can just be confident in asking names, because when we look at the English country, English speaking, the native speakers, they always call you by the first name. And casually when you, this is not a very formal conversation, right? Being in the hospital, a scenario, I think just calling your, just saying the name would be fine. I think so. So maybe for a kid, you might, for a kid also, you don't have to say anything else. Just call the name. That's it. Or maybe the kid is not present, the mom is present. So maybe so and so's mom. Are you so and so's mom? That's fine. Definitely fine.
And the same Monica has asked regarding the time. If she couldn't finish at that 5 minutes, so she will get stuck in that. So that will it affect in her score? So she's having a concern.
Yes, definitely. If you ask me that, it will definitely affect, because you have to finish the task in 5 minutes. And believe me, you can definitely finish the task in 5 minutes. Don't be stuck. Like I told you, the factor stuck comes in when you are actually scared. Otherwise, you in this 3 minutes, you can make a flow. Okay, this is the problem. This is the problem. Okay, maybe the patient has actually broken her hands. Okay, it's plastered. Okay, and you have to give her instruction not to wet it. Okay, come in for an appointment after 3 weeks. But maybe the patient is not very much ready, like she wants to take bath every day. Then you will have to give instructions, put a plastic cover on, and then take a bath, all those things. But definitely you can finish. So don't be stuck. Just plan out how you're going to go about it. That's it.
Okay, thank you. I hope all the concerns are clarified till now. Any of the viewers who are watching this live who have more concern can just type it in the comment box so that we can ask directly to our ma'am and clarify it.
I hope I have cleared the previous questions. I hope it's fine.
Yes, ma'am. And one more thing, ma'am, from Paltotam, a person has asked, yes. Should we start asking a patient, consent the patient first and start the speaking like that? He's asking.
Can you just
okay. Yeah, regarding like if it is an emergency situation or in an emergency, if you want to just see the hand or just want to see the wound. So just before asking, before talking about the scenario, should we ask the consent, take a consent from that patient or that particular?
Yeah, as far as I understand, usually nurses do ask, okay? That's being a courtesy, okay? So like I told you the scenario wherein you have already examined the patient. You start your role play from there. But I suppose Plathortum has asked a scenario where it is just a very new. We are starting from hi, I'm so and so, a staff nurse working or a community nurse. From the very beginning of the role play card, you're supposed to examine. So in that case, it's always nice to ask, see, may I please examine your wound so that I can get a better picture about what was happening or something like that. Definitely. That would be the best thing to go about. I think Plathortum was actually asking about the emergency scenario also before. So I would like to emphasize on being on reading your role play card very clearly. What is the instruction? Where am I supposed to start? That has to be, make sure you get it, where to start. I think that's about it.
Sometimes, ma'am, personally, I feel like some interlocutors are very, like, they are not pleasant. So, like, in an angry mood. So, we feel like what we are saying, they're understanding, we don't know. So, that makes us trouble when we play the role card.
Yes. That is where I would suggest. Just understand that's a very arrogant patient sitting down there. A very unpleasant patient. You have to tackle it. See, it's basically communication that the examiner is going to look into, not what the interlocutors have said. So you just tackle the scenario. You just, go about with your task. Maybe you have to give some instructions. You gave the instructions, and then you have to take a consent. Maybe the candidate, the interlocutor is reluctant. It's okay. Explain to him or her once again, like how you have to go about. If you think you have some time, sometimes some people, otherwise, just ask once again, can I please have your consent? Just go about in 1 or 2 sentences once again. They will definitely have to say yes or yes to it. Because if it's a consent, the instruction will be here, either to be a little reluctant and give. So don't ever take it, just think of them as another patient. That's it, nothing else.
Exactly, ma'am. This is how we take it. I mean, we have to think that he's a patient and he's not an interlocutor. He's a patient. He's a natural patient sitting in front of us.
Exactly.
Ma'am, one more.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I know, I was telling you that is very important. Otherwise, we will be very scared. And because seeing this person, we are only looking at an examiner when you talk about interlocutor. So that also, half of the thing you wanted to say also will actually drown away. But think of it like you said, as a patient.
Again, the same question, I think they are repeating. That is, do the interlocutors evaluate our speaking session? Do they
Never. I usually have a pen and I have a piece of paper. Okay.
Ma'am, we cannot hear you. Ma'am, we cannot hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. All right, okay. See this pen and a paper, and you see interlocutors writing. Okay, you see interlocutors writing. So the only thing is, it is just because we actually have to see the time is actually right. Okay, on the recorder, we have the time going. So I make sure I write the starting time, then I calculate 3 minutes, I write it down, then I calculate 5 minutes, I write it down, so that I make sure that I get you doing things on the right time. So that I finishes the 20 minutes speaking subtest on time, nothing else. So don't be worried when you see a pen and paper and all on the paper. It's just, we are there to help you. So we're just tracking time, nothing else. Okay. Yes.
Exactly, ma'am. Actually, thank you so much for giving such a beautifully simple sentences that we understand. In such a way you have explained it. Thank you so much, ma'am. And many of them have expressed their gratitudes that you have explained it very well. This Palathotam have especially, his name is Sunny actually, Sunny Palathotam from Uttarakhand. He has mentioned thank you to you.
All right, thank you. Thank you to you too. And
so
to all of
any,
you.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Any other concerns? Just we'll give 2 more minutes. To anybody wants to ask anything can ask, so that we will clarify our doubts with Maria, ma'am.
Yes, definitely.
Many of them have asked this repeated question, like it is necessary to complete the task points within 5 minutes. Already, I think you have just explained it.
Yes,
but
that's fine. Yeah, I will confirm it. My dears, it's definitely required. So sometimes the thing is, that's what I told you. First, find out all the tasks that is required of you to do. Which are the tasks that you have to do? So once you do the task, make sure you don't elongate it. Sometimes some people get stuck on one particular incident. You might be explaining, the patient, you're just giving the instructions. You might be asked to give instructions. You keep on giving instructions. You take a long time to give instructions, and then by the end of the 5 minutes, you might not reach the last part to take your consent. So make sure you balance it. What I do is, in case of the time, we can't just stop the role play before 5 minutes. That is definite. So in case if you finish early also, we can't stop the role play. So other than that, we will ask, are you sure you are complete? Have you finished? We will have to ask you, but you will not have definitely finished. So you can continue, but make sure you have done the task that is required in a flow. So once it is finished, then it is fine. You elaborate on whatever you want to tell. Okay, may I just, sometimes some of the candidates conclude the whole scenario, the whole role play, whatever has happened, they conclude the whole scenario. So what you can do is, in that case, complete your task. And then, okay, so I'll just tell you once again what all we have talked about and what all we have decided on. So this is what we did, and this and this and this and this, and so after 3 weeks you have to come in for it. By then, if it is okay, one more instruction is there for the interlocutor, not to cut you down completely. Okay, that is, if you're saying something, some sentence, we will definitely allow you to complete it, and then only say thank you and the role play is complete. Like the first role play is over. At the end of the first role play, that's what we would say. That is only after, we will not just stop you abruptly, just like that. So don't worry. I mean, it's not that you will thank you and all, but maybe you're talking a sentence or you're speaking something. We are asked not to cut you down in between, but just complete the sentence or that particular. Doesn't take longer time. I got a problem with that once. Allowing to end it, I took a few extra seconds. I mean, something like more than 30 seconds. That is not at all allowed, because these days, if I think you are going a little beyond too much, I definitely stop after 5 minutes. Maybe 10 or 20 seconds after 5 minutes isn't that a problem? So don't worry. So try and finish your task, but then elaborate whatever is required. Sometimes you wouldn't even have to sum up what was said. Some scenarios. So don't worry, I have to sum up and all. If you have done a very good conversation, that's it. All they want to know is how well are you communicating. This patient was very reluctant, but how well did you communicate? How were you able to handle the situation? That's all about it. I think I have answered, Shilpa Sarma. I think I have.
Yes, yes, ma'am. The thing is that we are eagerly waiting to complete the task which was given, sum up, so that then only we feel that it is satisfied.
Yeah.
Actually, the point is that they are seeing our communication level, how we are.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Suppose if it is about consultation, okay, maybe you can say after 3 weeks you come down again, just try this. In that case, summing up is okay. But in the hospital ward, you are in duty, just going and meeting the patient for the morning rounds, and then again you don't have to sum up. That's naturally, you don't sum up. That's all. Just be natural again. That's it.
One more thing, our father is also here. So any of the viewers who are who want to ask some of the doubts regarding our platform, or to ask directly to our father, can just spend a few minutes to comment your concerns in the comment box, so that father will answer you. Ma'am, one more before that. So meanwhile, the aspirants will comment in comment space. One more final doubt they want to ask is that regarding, I think he's a beginner, ma'am, Joanne Verghese. So he's asking that whether the role play card we can see, we can read. They're asking. I think it is given to every aspirant, I think, candidate.
Definitely, there is 2 role plays I told you. So at a time you can see only one card. We'll give you only one card, and you can definitely see it. It's actually basically the role play card. It's a paper wherein we fold it for you, and we give you. This is role play number 1. There is a number actually which we note down, and we talk in the verbatim. We say that also. So we give you that particular card. 3 minutes you prepare. You will be given a pencil with which you can actually mark on your card. No problem in marking. You don't have to rub it after the test. It is allowed for you to write or mark or whatever you want to do on the card. It is allowed.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. One more, the last question. Meanwhile, anyone want to ask any doubts, you can just mention in the comment box to Father. So he will just come and come on live and he will answer you. Ma'am, one more doubt to you. That is, in
Yes.
between the speaking, can we use the filling gappers like so? Can we use that? They're asking. Will they assess that type of connectors? Okay.
Is the
Will they
connectors
reduce our score? They're asking, will they reduce our score?
I don't think so, because as long as it is required for communicating, there's absolutely no problem. Like usually I used to say one thing, like the very first thing in a vernacular language, like we ask every time, is it okay if I give you, okay, I'm hungry, can you give me a bottle, sorry, I'm thirsty, can you give me a bottle of water? Okay, my hand is actually broken, so you give me a bottle of water. Can you give me a bottle? This is a scenario, this is a real scenario. Okay, can you give me a bottle of water? You'll say, I definitely understand your concern, ma'am. I'll definitely give you a bottle of water. You give me a bottle. Then I ask, can you please open it for me? I perfectly understand your concern, ma'am. I'll open the water for you. And I'm sorry, I can't pour it into the glass. Can you pour it into a glass and give me a glass of water? Oh, definitely, I very much understand your scenario, ma'am. Situation. See, you feel very awkward. You don't do that. So that is only the problem. That is, I don't know if it is exactly, can we call this communication here, or I don't know. Being too formal, it's a very formal, that's not required. Be natural. Oh, you can say, oh ma'am, since your hand is broken, I will actually. Okay, Maria, your hand is broken. I pour it into a glass. Is that okay for you? That would be much better than telling I perfectly understand. I think that's it. I hope I'm clear. I was clear on the.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, you're clear. Definitely. Because maybe due to tension, we repeatedly say these words. Definitely, I understand. Definitely, I understand.
Yeah.
But according to scenario, we have to speak. That is the main thing.
Exactly. This is like, I perfectly understand your concerns. I perfectly understand your situation. This like comes in all over through the conversation. Sometimes being an interlocutor, when I say, I would, in my mind, I would say, my dear, please stop saying this. I perfectly understand. Because it feels very awkward sometimes.
So finally, we are coming to an end. I hope there is no doubts or any concerns towards Father. So I think we can wind up. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your precious time to spend with us. And as you have been in an interlocutor before, so we were very happy to know how really our interlocutor is. So really very thankful to you, ma'am, and on behalf of all EduSkill family, and from our Father Salim Yusuf, and from our admin panel members, and now from our platform members, we are very thankful to you.
I
Thank
should
you
thank
so much.
Father Salim and the EduSkills family, actually. I mean, it's recently, that terminology family actually, got into my brains, actually. I realized this is a family, and I should say thank you for welcoming me into the family and giving this opportunity. And thank you so much, Father, as well, because he's the one. And I definitely Rajini, because I never thought I would be of any help being an OET interlocutor, and I have never ever thought I would be sharing something like this. And it was Rajini who actually came up with the start, and I was literally surprised, asking her, what do you think I should do? And she said, you just share something. And I was absolutely not sure what exactly I had to share. And I was on a travel, actually, and by the evening, all through my journey, I was thinking, what should I be saying? And I was just asking God, what should I be speaking? And by the end of the journey, before I reached home, I was clear on what I had to say, but I was not very sure. But I just said, I think that was what I communicated, and I think it was useful. And I should thank Rajini, Father Salim, and the EduSkills family for this opportunity, and you all. Thank you all.
Thank you once again to all the YouTubers, all the viewers who are watching live in the YouTube. Once again, this is Selma signing off from EduSkill family. So I would like to emphasize one thing is that as you enter into this Telegram OET EduSkills family group, definitely we can boost ourselves, because self-confidence will really help us to motivate us ourselves. So there are lot of opportunities in our platform to motivate ourselves and to be confident, to be competent. So I wish everybody to come and join this Telegram group and actually participate. Thank you so much. Signing off.